Good morning, kind people of the internet. Today I want to share an app that I've just discovered a few days ago that I've been trying to use in my practice routine just a little bit. So I went to this recital the other night by this trumpet player, Tom Hooten, and he is the principal trumpet player of the LA Philharmonic. And it was really incredible just to hear him play, especially in a pretty small recital hall, and just to get to experience his sound in that really close setting. I guess I don't really go to a lot of classical concerts. I've been trying to go more lately, and just hearing him, it was just really mind-blowing just getting to hear somebody at that level. So I started doing a little bit of research about him and found a few interviews. And in one of the interviews, he's talking about how he uses a particular app to help him with his practicing.
But right now I use this thing called Seconds Pro. It's like an interval trainer, because one of the things I noticed in my abundance of energy when I was younger is that I just wouldn't rest enough. And so without rest, not only am I not physically resting, I'm not thinking enough. So this app allowed me to create sort of routines, and you could add drones to them as music tracks. And so I have a routine right now, but usually I don't do any routine more than like 6 months or 9 months. I change it up because I just get really bored and I feel like it gets stagnant.
And I just got it on my phone, and if the camera will show. So it's this red little icon here. It's just like an S. And yeah, my phone background is this is a painting of my saxophone that someone did for me. So Seconds Pro is the name of the app, and essentially what it is, it's like designed as like a training app for sports. And when you log in, it shows all these different sports you can choose from. But the cool thing about it is you can customize it, and you can make your own sessions with different intervals and all sorts of different parameters. So basically what I've done right now is I've broken my warm-up sort of like fundamentals routine into three practice sessions. And each one of them is 25 minutes. And for each one, I think there are like 3 or 4 minutes of rest divvied up throughout those 25 minutes. So I have 3 25-minute routines right now. So right now, practice session 1 is just called long tones. Practice 2 is called movement, and then practice 3 is overtones, movement, and something else. Low notes. So basically what I did is just fit all of the fundamental things that I want to be able to hit a little bit every day into these sections. And I think what it's helping me do is sort of consolidate my time and focus my energy and not rest too long, but also not play too long. So like, for example, if I open up the practice 2, which is called movement, let's see here. So this is, once you open it up, you have my timers, which are on here. It's not wanting to, there we go, my timers. And then you can edit it and rename certain sections however you want. So when I open up practice 2, it's 25 minutes total, and then I have it broken up into all these different things. So first I'm doing scales and half notes with the metronome for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Then I rest for 1 minute. And usually what I do then is take my instrument off of my neck strap and then kind of like move my head around and kind of like stretch out my neck just a little bit. And then the next interval is quarter note scales. I'm doing that for 2.5 minutes. Then I'm resting again. Then I'm doing quarter note arpeggios for 3 minutes, rest. Then I'm doing eighth note scales for 2 minutes, eighth note arpeggios for 2 minutes. So it just kind of goes on from there. So I'm still trying to like zero it in and figure out the best use of my time. Basically, like with these fundamental things, I feel like I have to hit them each day, and I like to try to do it early in the morning if I can, because then it makes me feel like things are really flowing, and then it's a lot easier to just play the instrument. So that's essentially what I'm trying to do with this routine, and trying to use this app is figure out ways to make playing the instrument as easy as possible. the more that I can do that and still maintain the sound that I like, then it makes improvising a lot easier. So one thing that I was thinking of too, besides just like fundamentals, if you are like maybe trying to learn certain tunes, I think one of the things that students sort of overlook is the fact that even if you have sort of a basic knowledge of a tune, if you don't come back to it, like if you go and leave it alone for like a few weeks, when you come back, it may not be there in the same way. So like one thing that I'm working on, especially with my students that are trying to learn tunes, is always constantly trying to review. So say you've just gotten to the point where you've memorized a tune, you have the chord changes and the melody memorized. Ideally, what you would do is try to come back to it every day, at least for like a few minutes, for 2 to 3 weeks after you've have it memorized. Right when you memorize it, you don't want to stop and just move on and not come back to it maybe for like a month, because a lot of it you could easily forget it. So like with this practice app, what you could say is, say maybe you're trying to really solidify like 5 different tunes. You could set it up so you have just a half an hour practice session and do like 5 minutes per tune with maybe a minute rest in between. And that would be a great use of a half an hour. And if you did that every day after like a few weeks, you would really have like an even deeper understanding of those tunes. They would be more lodged in your memory, and then it'd be easier, once you're on a gig or whatever, trying to play this tune, that you've had all these reps under your belts. Even just 5 minutes, but consistently, like many days back to back, will help a whole lot with that sort of thing. All right, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.